Hi, this is Liam from Turn Sounds, and leaving the lens cap on your camera at nighttime doesn't really make much of a difference.
Welcome to Just Keep Walking. This is a podcast focused on the Walking Dead TV show, and today we're talking about Season 11, Episode 2, called Acheron Part 2. And thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Ben. I'm joined by...
Liam.
And also by Isaac. Hello.
Awesome, thanks for joining us. Isaac, do you want to give us a formal little spoiler alert there?
Oh, indeed,
Only you can do it.
Oh, I mean, if I'm one day not here, someone has to warn people about spoilers.
True.
Well,
It's true. But for now, I am here, so spoilers ahead!
nicely done. All right. Well, we like to dive straight into it here. Not have too much fluff at the start. So, diving sound effect, did you say? Yeah. That's pretty good.
Splash.
Okay, so the episode starts off. Obviously, it was a cliffhanger last time, so it makes sense we dive right back into it this week with Maggie falling off the train. There's a few things here which this happens from time to time, like the classic mom in the middle of the herd, and then the next episode, like, it's like that never happened. So there's a few little consistencies and things that were a bit all over the place, and I kind of found that throughout the whole episode, but
I'm keen to ask straight away, Liam. Liam had something where he was like,
oh yeah.
what's going on?
So this was before it cuts to the main title. All the walkers are pretty much piling on top of Maggie.
Yeah? Alrighty.
And what did you say?
I'm very keen to hear what yours was too. So I actually thought I saw like a walker pulling a mask on. So I thought, Negan still has a Whisperer mask, or maybe it's Lydia and she, I don't know, found one.
Or just a
I didn't think. Well, who knows? I didn't think it was one of the Whisperers, but I thought, ooh, someone's putting on a Whisperer mask to save the day.
Interesting. Well, that would actually make sense to blend in rather than guts and stuff.
Well, from the trailer, we know that it's coming up somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I just thought it was a person, maybe. It's just that the last walker kind of looked like they were doing something, but I'm sure it's just because it was super awkward for all the extras to pile on top of each other. But, I thought maybe it was Daryl or Negan coming around to, save the day or whatever, but who knows? But they did pretty much with Maggie a repeat on a smaller scale of the whole dumpster thing. Which, if it was intentional, hey, nice little funny nod, I guess. But
I don't think any of us believed that she was dead.
No, they at least didn't try and trick us.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. She got her eye under that. That makes sense. So I just want to, before we keep going with the plot, what are your guys' overall thoughts about this episode? Isaac, how did you feel about it?
Look, I like where they're going. Okay, I'm a lot more excited for the next episode. This one was a little bit boring.
Right, Where they're going, meaning what?
I like that we're past the processing stage, and we're going to find out all about Commonwealth. So that's good. I like that now we're past the dark and dingy subway thing and we're out into the open sky. We've now got a proper look at the ghosts or the Reapers.
Yeah.
It's just, there are cooler things on the way, and there were some cool set pieces, but we'll get into it. There was a lot about this episode where I was kind of like, all right, move on. Next thing, come on.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Liam?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I do agree there were parts where I'm like, oh, this is a little bit unnecessary. Come on, let's not. Yeah.
Like Maggie's monologue, just to name one for me.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the processing sort of conversation's a little bit drawn out. I'm like, oh, come on, let's speed this up a touch.
Right.
It's interesting. I'd be very curious to know why this was a 50-minute episode where it's usually like 42, 43 minutes. And you could feel that, they usually trim a bit of that fat just to sort of condense it a bit. But yeah.
But I still really liked it. I thought it was a really good episode.
Okay, yeah.
How about yourself?
You know, I liked it. I wasn't bored at any point, but it's not blowing me away. Yeah, just you know, looking at both of them together. Definitely not my favorite start to the season. I guess, yeah. So some of the stuff you guys said, also, yeah. You know, it's very dark and probably a bit too. You know, like holding on Gage being ripped apart, and then the monologue and stuff. It's like maybe he's like gone too deep into some of that stuff, and then and there's some stuff later which just didn't really make any sense, which we'll get to. But it just didn't quite do it overall.
I have a quick theory on why that may be, just in general.
Yeah.
Because your favorite seasons, if I'm recalling correctly, you really liked season 8, didn't you? Or 8? 9.
Yeah.
With and then like 1 and 2 and
9 and 4.
Okay. That's Terminus, is it?
Yeah, the road to Terminus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point being, all of those are pretty well lit the whole way. There's not a whole lot of nighttime.
Oh, you reckon it's the lighting?
Partly. I mean, call me crazy, but I think people are generally in better moods when there's like bright light and fresh air and those sorts of things. So
interesting.
These first 2 episodes set exclusively at nighttime or like underground. I wonder if that makes it a duller mood, less exciting.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have, I wouldn't say that's it necessarily, but it's an interesting theory.
I think it lends to it.
It might contribute, definitely.
I think it lends to it.
I like that theory.
That being said, I do quite like the setting. I think it looks cool. But I don't know.
Fine.
But no, it's a good thought, actually. We'll have to compare the light levels, the average light level of each season, and see how they all...
I recall you saying one of your favorite scenes ever was in the snow, right? Them playing around in the snow.
Yeah.
That's as brightly lit as it comes.
That's true. Yeah.
True.
I feel like season 2 probably has the most sun, if anything, because they're on the farm. And it's pretty much all at daytime until the end. All right, we're going off track here.
It was a good off track there. I like that.
There we go. Okay, so they're in the train. Basically, Negan says, "Hey, you know, she was right behind me. Whatever." Yeah, there's all this stuff. I like that they sort of just get on with it. Maggie pops up and she goes, "Come on, you left me behind." But I really like actually how Negan did it in this scene. Is that he just said it how it is. It's like, well, you're just talking about murdering me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, go and put my nuts on the line for you. So you kind of see where he's coming from. And then immediately after that, Maggie pretty much does the same thing, leaving this other kid, to die for the sake of saving other people. So even though obviously Maggie doesn't like Negan, you can see that she's got she's switched on and she's thinking practically, and she gets the logic of it at least. That it wasn't an act of evil necessarily. He was just kind of like, wow.
Because I was thinking about that after we talked about it. It's not like he smiled at her and then walked away.
Or pushed her off like Scar. Mufasa.
So, there is the difference there.
Yeah. Oh, but that was quite good. Just, putting it how it is. But is there anything in that scene that stood out to you guys?
Not outside of what you just said. I really liked that contrast of... I'm going to point a gun at you because you've done what I'm about to do, basically. I really like that.
I did have a note for that one. Very quickly after she's getting tackled and she pulls out a gun beforehand.
Right at the start.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've forgotten her name.
Maggie. Yeah, fair enough.
I was going to say Megan, but you understand.
We all do that. Yeah.
Tomato.
Maggie, she pulls out a gun and she starts shooting them all. I can already imagine Negan would have heard those shots and gone like, oh man, she's still alive down there. She's battling her way out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Not as simple as just grabbed and eaten. Like there are gunshots going off. So were I Negan, I'd be going, ooh.
Yeah. Well, quickly before we move on, Maggie and Negan's kid should be called Megan.
Yeah.
But
you heard it here first.
Another side tangent is that Maggie and Negan were a couple in Batman vs Superman as Bruce Wayne's parents in the,
Oh my gosh, you're right.
scene at the start.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, true that. Awkward. Yeah.
Awkward. Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, back on track. I guess there's just a few things, and I found this throughout the whole episode that maybe just needed a bit of a fine tune in terms of like maybe they made sense on paper, but then when you see it, it doesn't really make sense. Like they're talking about, okay, Maggie's out there. She was right behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're having this whole debate of, oh, should we go up? Oh, if you go up on the roof, you're a dead person. Like, what? They just came from there. How hard is it to climb on the roof?
Yeah.
Like, there are all these sort of things going on, and I don't know, the banging on the walls. There's just little logical things that seemed a bit inconsistent, and that just weren't quite fleshed out. But
I agree 100%, and I was actually thinking further down the track. Like the roof is probably the safest place to be.
yeah,
You're getting swarmed from both sides. Just go back up that little manhole.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about opening the doors at all.
No.
Just jump from carriage to carriage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, why are they so concerned about, clearing the walkers in between? Like, I would have thought a tight corridor is one of the most ideal ways to take down.
Choke point.
Yeah.
Let's come back to that, when we get to it. But yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said there. Okay, so we get to Daryl, and he's sort of gone out the side. That's another one of those things. This maybe makes a bit more sense. I guess he can't go back because there's walkers, so he just finds a little tunnel through or something like that. Fair enough. And he finds all these, paintings and a bunch of homeless people who are pretty much in the exact same state they were before the world fell apart, and they're just still there. But now they've died and turned into walkers.
There was a guy with a suitcase full of money chained to him.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So this is something that I did get out of watching the episode Insider for last week. Is Angela Kang touched on a bit that.
So you did watch it.
Yeah, I did watch it afterwards. Yeah. That they're sort of setting up a little bit of a theme of like this class war. I don't know if war is the right word, but the different classes and how that played a part in the old world of the homeless people and the rich people, and the subway was sort of a place where everyone from different stages of life came together. And probably that'll play a part in the Commonwealth more so, that storyline, seeing sort of different groups of people. So yeah, I don't know where that's going necessarily, but she said that that's sort of a theme they're trying to set up a little bit subtly. So that's probably more of a scene to look back on later, and then we'll go, yeah. Who knows? Did you guys take anything out of that? Or?
Makes sense what you just said, yeah.
Oh, okay, there we go. We're back at the Commonwealth. Again, every time they go to a new scene in the Commonwealth, you've got to kind of orient yourself and say, okay, how did we get here from where we left off in the last scene? But
Big time.
yeah, I guess we'll just go with it. It is a bit confusing though. I don't know. They're escaping and now they're back in this. Let's come back to the Commonwealth in a bit.
It's a hard thing to give commentary for, especially when you're not watching it real time. Like us trying to talk about it and find worthy points to talk about.
Sure.
Like it's just confusing. Yeah, you're right.
I guess. That's the main thing. It's just a bit of consistency. Or I guess the script maybe just needed a little bit more of a fine tune, or someone to go through it with fresh eyes and say, wait, how did we get from here to here?
Or what about if you dedicated the first episode entirely to either the subway thing and then the second one to just the Commonwealth thing? And so you've got one clear, because you've still got lots of characters to cut between, potentially. And you get rid of all of the Commonwealth storyline in one episode leading up to where they've gotten to now.
Yeah.
And that way we can have every blank filled in. Like they try to escape, no, they go back. It's the next day now. And now they go off, oh, where's Ezekiel gone? He's been taken, we don't know where. And it's a little lot more. Maybe that could have done it a bit better.
Yeah, maybe.
Because otherwise I don't mind the way that it was cut together.
Sure.
While we're with them.
I definitely would prefer how they've done it now rather than having a whole episode on the Commonwealth, just because they've sort of tried it before. And to me, I don't like it when you just have one episode focused on, like, with exceptions, but when there's other interesting things happening, I don't like to be stuck on a side story. It's like, go back to the main one.
You've got two very different flavors there, though. Like one.
But you're very right.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Sorry.
Well, that's just about, you got life and death on this, train, potential, mutinies, and then cut to them sitting at a table discussing, what's going on? How are we going to get out?
Yeah.
Completely different lightings, different camera movements, different music, polarizing in every single way.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
I wonder though, given that obviously the Commonwealth stuff all seems to take place during the day for what we've seen, right? Well, it seems like daylight.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's falling within a different time frame. Like
definitely. Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, I wonder if that's intentional to make it so drastically different that when we look back and go, okay, this actually happened 2 weeks prior to this subway scene. Like maybe they bump into each other, or I wonder if that's what the setup is. I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay. I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
My tired brain may not be articulating this well. I'm doing my best.
That'd be interesting, definitely. Because they've got to collide at some point. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So will there be a collision where we're like, I didn't see that coming, except now I've kind of put it out there, we will see it coming.
Yeah, right.
Liam.
Oh, I like it.
It's good.
I guess that still the main thing that I'm getting at though is even if you put all the Commonwealth scenes together, there'd still be all these missing pieces. Like last week we left it off, they were in stormtrooper costumes, escaping, and then now we're here. 3 of them are in the cell, and Ezekiel's gone somewhere. Okay, so and then he's been captured apparently. It's like what? So just some missing pieces, I guess. Anyways, let's move on. We got Daryl. I'm just skipping through the episode here.
Could I put a quick cap on that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is it? I know it's thinking about it a little too hard, but is it disorientating for us, all the Commonwealth stuff, to kind of almost put us in the shoes of the group that's trapped there? Like they have no idea what's going on either, and they're frustrated with what's the lack of information. And so in a way, us viewing it, because we don't know something that they don't know, which is something which is helpful.
For some of it, yes. I'd say like for the Eugene stuff, this episode when all the other characters are kind of disappearing and he doesn't know what's going on, that definitely. And it worked for sure because, that sort of made sense that it was disorienting. But I guess there's still, it's when you're following the characters, and we had talked about this last week already when, the like how did they get in the costumes in the first place? Like that's pretty important. Just some of that stuff, but that's all right. We'll move on. We got the whole lawyer thing. That's all, and Princess gone to the bathroom. It's going to be interesting. I reckon a lot of it will probably come together once we find out more about what was going on. I think it was you who said it last week, right? That the crazy people in the cell next to them were plants, maybe? That would make a lot of sense.
Especially if they're saying, we've been here 10 months now or 9 months.
Because it definitely seems like they're putting on a show, maybe exterior, and then it's just we were just testing you, but we're actually not that evil.
Apart from Orange Stormtrooper, he's shifty and I don't like him.
You don't like him?
Even after this one?
Nah, I don't like Orange Stormtrooper.
Okay.
Really don't like him.
I like him.
I like him a lot.
Yeah? He's annoying. Like he's probably not shifty. I just don't like him.
To me, he is like the personification of what's the tiger's name?
Shiva.
Shiva. If Shiva was a person, look, he's even orange.
Orange and black.
There you go. I'm calling it.
Shere Khan, perhaps, from Jungle Book. Yeah.
Shiva was reincarnated as a human. That's what happened.
Now he's pushing Ezekiel around. It's the other way. Interesting. So You just think he's got something else going on, maybe?
No.
Okay.
I was speaking
You
with
just don't
pure
like him.
emotion.
Okay,
I
fair
just think he's
enough.
a bit of a goose.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
he comes across as a douche.
All right.
Sure, he's a lovely guy, but
Let's see. We'll give him a chance. There was, because this is based off a comic book character, there was talk years ago of fans doing a petition to get Dwayne Johnson to play that character, which probably wouldn't have worked at all. But
Be too
I'd
likable.
watch it. Yeah. Then you definitely would like him. Yeah.
okay. All right.
Let's see. Yeah, you've got Daryl crawling through that tunnel, and for a sec it seemed like they were whispers or something.
Yeah.
Like closing the door, but it was just walkers like bumping into it. Yeah, dog's being a bit naughty.
I like that a
bad
lot.
dog.
Every time that comes up, like with it breaking the arrow or whatever it was,
Yeah.
or like this running away, just every time it's like dog, dog.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, Daryl's definitely not the perfect trainer. Okay, we got.
He's a good boy otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Okay, here we've got the Gage stuff. That's the kid. He rocks up. He's on the other side of the train cart, and he gets a very graphic death with lots of close-ups. Yeah. How did you feel about
could
this?
either of you
Isaac?
explain
You've
to
got a
me-
strong reaction.
I'm sorry. Why did he deserve that? Why was he saying, "I'm sorry, I won't do it again"? What had happened?
Because he ran off.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That was all.
Yeah.
Maggie, you
But he
cold.
did run off with like the ammo bag and important stuff, which is like cowardly and putting everyone else at danger.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Then
Yeah,
he goes,
kinda.
has a heartache moment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Da-dum.
I mean, to be fair, he was a bit of a jerk before then anyway. Like, you know, he was bullying Lydia and,
Oh, that guy.
yeah.
Oh, screw him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Was it him?
Yeah.
I thought he died on the pike.
No, his two friends did. Because there was the three of them,
Ah,
and two of
yeah.
them died, but he was left behind, and he was still a jerk after that. So
Is that the hole where they had a walker in the pit and he was?
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Goose.
The other guy who did get his head on a pike, he's like massive on TikTok and stuff. I think he was before Walking Dead anyway, but he keeps popping up on recommended. So there you go.
And on pikes.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it was maybe a bit over the top, the death. But hey, I guess they got to have fun with the special
Yeah, I got
effects.
something after you.
I
Love.
disagree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Purely because it
Yeah.
really highlights this is what Maggie has chosen to do to a degree. Like Maggie said, no, we're not going to save
Yeah.
him. And it really, really hit home. Like this kid is being torn apart in front of us. And then they sort of reinforced that again afterwards when Alden's like, none of you want to look at him.
All right. Yep. I get you.
It seemed strange to me because, for one, I'm glad that we didn't see the classic. Was it Noah?
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad we didn't see that kind of thing happen,
Yeah.
especially through the glass and everything. But on the one hand, you've got him pleading with Maggie, saying like, "Let me through, whatever." And then when it's clear that she said, "Nope, you're gonna stay behind there," and he realizes, "Okay, well, I'm gonna die."
Yeah.
First of all, I thought, okay, takes his knives out. This is your chance, kid. Prove yourself to everyone. And he
Yeah.
like faces them head on and then maybe inspires the rest of them to open up the door and charge along with him. I
Yeah.
thought, cool, man. Like, but then he stabs himself twice.
If it was like, one of the main characters or someone who is pretty decent, sure. But then thinking about it, I was thinking the same thing in the moment. Like, what are you doing? Go fight him.
Yeah.
But he is a very, he's a coward, and I guess he wanted the attention to make a statement, I guess, and he was probably just scared to be ripped apart, and he wouldn't have been able to fight if he wanted to.
Take some
can't.
courage to stab
Yeah.
yourself, though.
Yeah,
And that's that whole stabbing yourself thing that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Just from a mental standpoint, yes, he's a coward, but your cowardice sort of stems from a place of self-preservation. You are so scared of death that you will do anything to protect yourself. to then turn around and stab yourself while not even like looking at the stressor, like almost out of spite, like eyeballing
Yeah.
everyone who won't help you out,
Yeah.
stabbing yourself. It didn't feel real.
But I would say like, what's going to be worse, stabbing yourself and then you're kind of out of it and you're done, or being ripped apart by walkers? Like, I would rather stab myself.
I still don't see it happening though. I still like from a cowardly perspective, I would have expected him to sort of like you got fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna then curl up in a ball,
Yeah.
like try and back away from the stressor.
Yeah.
I can see him like shelling up a little bit, trying to fend off a little bit when he realizes there's no way out. Turning around and then stabbing yourself in the heart just didn't feel real to me. I'm like,
Flight, or freeze, none of the above.
yeah,
I'm going to make my own category.
All three at once.
yeah. I'm like, no. This
That's
doesn't
fair
feel-
enough,
It really
actually.
felt a little bit odd. And
Yeah.
in the heart,
Yeah.
come on, buddy.
Yeah.
If that was what, if you're looking for a painless way to go out, or you want it to be quick so you don't get ripped up, I would have like put the blade on my skull and then like headbutted the wall or something.
Yeah.
I don't
That was
know.
tough, man. Like that's.
Yeah.
Temple, I don't know.
Oh, well,
it just felt
also-
so unreal to me.
I'm sorry, but we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't like to be the guy that says, "Why didn't they just do this?" and blah blah blah, like
Yeah,
whatever.
you have to sometimes.
But like, this is a subway door, right? It's not bulletproof glass or anything. At best, it's probably just perspex. Like, it's probably not even.
I would say it's pretty thick glass, though, isn't it?
That's it's not the one between carriages. It's the one like separating, like a ticket
okay.
class, so to speak. So it's not the one on the outside of the carriage. I don't believe it was. It was just a petition, if you will. So I gotta believe that he could have taken a run up and at least tried to kick it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least try.
At
That's
least
a good
try.
point.
Point out, given that the walkers cracked the other one. So yeah, you're right.
But I would say, and probably more so in America, sorry, shaming Americans, but there's a lot of dodgy stuff that goes on subways, and I feel like people, if there's a window to be cracked, someone's going to do it just for a laugh. I mean, it happens here on the
Hey,
Frio
guys, check
line
this
and
out.
stuff like that.
Oh,
you know,
look,
you
you're
get
right, yeah.
people scratching the windows and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough.
there we go.
For me, like with these shows, it's kind of the "there's always a way" mentality.
Yeah.
Especially when your life or other people's lives are on the line. So it just
Yeah.
seems such a shame, like Liam said, to like almost out of spite, just to kill yourself in the moment there when really it should have been a desperate moment from a coward.
Yeah.
Like he was, like trying
okay.
absolutely everything, not just giving up. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, and okay, last, and then we'll move on. But yeah, and what you said from the perspective of like Maggie watching and stuff, seeing someone actually scared trying to get away and then being ripped apart is probably more powerful than, yeah, just like sort of
Yeah.
embracing it.
I was
Okay.
just thinking, because you said you would rather stab yourself, right? I was, like, what if you didn't fully commit and you just, ow! you just
Yeah.
pricked yourself a little and then, no.
But yeah, I mean, our brains are wired for self-preservation. It's
Yeah.
not that black and white to go, dead.
But like being ripped apart alive, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be
I guess
here
we'll
all
just have to
night.
wait for the apocalypse to find out.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me.
Okay, so
Pat, we will survive.
You got a
I'm
bat.
still on that library roof.
Real dehydrated by now.
stab yourself with a book.
Why isn't this working?
We get Maggie's monologue here. I might just need a bit more time to think about this, or like watch it again and see if there's more to it. Yeah, I haven't really processed it properly. Did you guys get much out of that? What did you reckon, Liam?
Only one thing. From the trailer, we had those weird little creatures,
Yeah.
right? I thought she was referencing that, like the
Not
mutated
me.
sort of people or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought she might have been referencing.
Yeah, me too.
So I think maybe that might be a flashback, or we're about to see more of those freaks.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
For me, the mark was missed, unfortunately. This is where it got kind of boring for me, not because of how it was written. The subject matter was pretty disturbing.
Oh, very. Yeah.
What she was-
Almost too much. Yeah,
Well,
but yeah.
I unfortunately, no disrespect to Lauren.
You've already disrespected her by getting her name wrong.
It's my nickname, you know, it's special. I don't know. If she had delivered that at about like 1.5 times the speed, then it would have hit the nail. Because the way she was telling it, you know, they lost their arms, pause for effect.
Yeah.
Then they were stitched up, pause for effect. And like, it was just one after the other. I'm like, okay, it's shocking and it's awful, the things you're describing. But if you're really trying to hit home just how terrible something is, I think it could have been better if they had done it in a take where it was like, they did this and then they didn't have that and the things were gone and I didn't care because I was thinking about food the whole time. I was like, I think that maybe that might have gone, wow, that's cold. Like you didn't even care about these people that were still alive. You were thinking about food. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. And that was her message. But I don't know, it was just a bit too long. It was just drawn out.
100% agree. And it felt, the only thing I can describe it as, like a campfire horror story where you're trying to scare some kids.
It works, man. I'm scared.
That's
And
what
you're
it
like
felt
making
right?
it up as you go. I definitely didn't feel that, but you know, yeah, each to their own. I was in it, but
I'm trying to think of something to compare it by, like if we've had another monologue.
one thing I'll say is I feel like maybe if it was like a Laura Belsey episode, because it was a long shot, but it wasn't really, the camera wasn't doing anything interesting particularly. So, but when you compare it to like the Father Gabriel monologue where he's lying on the beanbag and the camera's, you know, moving subtly but doing some really cool stuff, that might have added something to it as well potentially. Who knows? All right, let's move along. One small thing. It wasn't like a direct reference. I thought it might have been going that direction. But have you guys seen The Road with Viggo Mortensen?
No.
Okay,
It's on my list.
It's a bit depressing, but it's a good movie. So it depends what kind of mood
Really
you're
selling
in.
it here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. But there's something kind of similar in that, and it's quite a famous part of the book as well, of, you know, just going into this house and discovering horrible things that have happened to people. And yeah, it's definitely a powerful way of sort of going, oh, okay, maybe the things that we thought were bad weren't even that bad in comparison to like what people are capable of and stuff like that. Yeah.
I really don't like that kind of subject matter anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. So, and that was one of the other things that just overall, like, yeah, some dark stuff here and there, sure, but it seemed like there's just a lot of dark, heavy kind of things. And I'm not talking about lighting. I'm talking about subject matter.
Aha!
Coincidence? I don't think so.
He admits it.
All right, so we're at the big the battle as the walkers are breaking through the door, making a big stand. And Isaac, I'm sure you'll have lots of notes here on weapon usage and stuff like that.
I can condense it. I can really condense it.
Okay, yeah, you go for it first, and then I'll...
Favorite part of this whole episode, Father Gabriel is lining up the shot with his dead eye.
What?
He's looking down.
That's true. I've got it right here. Look.
He's lining it up with his blind eye.
Oh my
down
God.
the side. I'm going, okay.
That's so true.
Yep.
I can't unsee that.
I thought to myself, maybe it's a perspective thing, but no, his working eye is on the other side, so
Yeah.
You're very right.
Yeah. Still.
That's funny. All right, what else?
I'm sorry. I did think to myself, wouldn't it be funny? Not Megan.
Maggie or
Maggie
Negan?
hands Negan
Ah.
a weapon for him to go shoot off as well.
Yeah.
And I just, those fake bullets that got designed and they malfunction in the gun. I thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But, oh, not again. Ah.
Eugene.
Yeah. I thought for this particular case, the use of rotating weapons was really cool. You
Okay.
you start with the shotgun, you take care of a bunch, switched to, I think, AK-47 he was using or something like
yeah,
that, the
right.
rifle. He steps back, the archers come in, take a couple of shots, they step back, and then the people with the blunt weapons and such.
Yeah.
Very tactical, yeah,
Okay. Fair enough.
proficient. And
And
efficient.
even though they're using lots of ammo and stuff.
That is the one part I was like, I thought you were light on ammo,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. He could have switched it to like single firing and like, you know, done one at a time. So I don't know why he had it on automatic with the rifle. So
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
but yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, Liam, do you have any thoughts? I've got a few to get into.
I didn't like it. I'm like, there was it was cool and all, but the fact, like, well, the whole sequence, the system around it was great, but the whole concept of we're being swarmed, like, you're in a train carriage. It's going to take maybe 4, 5, 6 walker bodies to go down before there's a bit of a stockpile, and the rest of them are like, oh, this is getting tricky to get through. Like,
Yeah, because Alden's got like a spear as well.
yeah,
So like
Yeah.
great for reach and let them pile
exactly
up.
right.
Yeah.
But that just didn't seem to happen at all. Like, no matter how many they killed on the train, there never seemed to be any obstructing the walker's pathway to get through.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is like prime opportunity. Like, just nab a few of them, build up a little wall.
It did seem that the American trains, like their laneways, have like you could fit 2 people side by side versus I think ours are a bit
Yeah, a bit
tighter.
yeah.
Even so, that doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah. They're determined, those walkers.
Well, they busted down a steel door despite being bottlenecked.
Yeah. Yeah. True. They just needed Gage's strength in there.
What did you reckon, Ben?
Yeah, it just feels like they're going backwards because we've seen last season it started with them on the beach training,
yeah.
being proficient. They've had this big fight at Hilltop with the, you know, where they lined up the fences and they did the spears and the different sets of weapons and stuff. And last episode, the very start of this season, opens with them very efficiently taking out a whole bunch of walkers. And yeah, it just seems like, oh, okay, now you guys like don't know what you're doing anymore. Or it seemed like it was supposed to be this really intense situation, which makes sense to an extent, but like it seems like, yeah, like you guys were saying, okay, they're kind of bottlenecked. It's very easy to control this, given all the stuff you've done beforehand, and that Alden's got a spear and everything. Like that's maybe like, all right, I'll pitch something rough. Like if big guy got through first, and then there were walkers behind him or something like that, he closed the door behind him, and then everyone else had to climb through a window or something small, and then they couldn't bring the spear or they had to chuck it out, so they've only got a limited set of weapons. So they've only got the gun and a couple of things. Maybe that then would have raised the stakes a bit. Okay, we've just got to work with this. What can we do? Something like that. But yeah, it just and then Daryl as well. He comes through later, and he was pretty efficient anyway. But we've seen him with the double knives before, and he's like so good with that. And so yeah, then he goes for a gun. It's like what?
Such a waste.
We're, just talking about not having ammo.
And he never seemed to run out of it too.
Yeah.
Never-ending magazine right there.
Yeah. He did go for the
16, I think.
knives after a bit. Oh, are you counting?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what they should.
I
it
think
should
that's
be?
I think that's how much the magazine holds in
wow.
that one is 16.
Okay,
That's a
gotcha.
lot more than I was anticipating. I retract my statement.
Yeah. Oh, it's not like Rick's gun with like 6 shots or something. So no. But final thing for me on that one.
Yeah.
Where are they? Right? They're in a train, a sealed off thing. Have any of you ever fired a gun? Yes. You needed earplugs or earmuffs, right? It would
Oh
be
my gosh.
deafening
Yeah.
in that tube.
Yeah.
One shotgun thing would have had everyone on the ground, like covering their ears,
Yeah.
going ah. Let alone multiple, and then rifles, and then handguns. Like, come on.
I think they've kind of given up on that sort of logic. Right? Like at the very start of the series, when Rick shoots the gun in the tank, like he goes deaf for a bit, and like there's a whole scene of like his ears ringing, is all disoriented.
Yeah.
So they've definitely, gone that way, but I think there was a certain point where they just said, screw it. It's
Kind of
TV.
just Hollywood in general, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I was thinking the same thing, but then I also thought you could argue that they've been out in this world for so long, fired so many guns, they've probably got some significant hearing damage.
Yeah. And that's the theories going around online why walkers sneak up on them so easy, because
They're all deaf.
deaf from
Maybe.
firing guns everywhere.
Yeah.
That would actually be plausible, wouldn't it?
Get to the end of Maggie's monologue. What?
You start from the beginning.
They all think they're talking, but they're all actually yelling really loud.
Yeah. And that's why all these swarms of walkers keep coming, because they're yelling. All right. Makes sense.
It was a cool shot of Daryl from the outside of the train.
Oh,
as he was
very
walking
cool.
through. I did
That
like
was
that.
cool.
Yeah.
It was a bit different.
Another thing, at first I thought it was a bit silly, but it makes sense when the guy, he put all the flares down in the seats. At first I was like, oh, okay, you got to light the scene somehow. Just chuck some flares down. Why did he do that? But assuming that it's really dark in the train, we can see just because we have to, because it's TV, and it would not be very good if it was really dark.
Oh, dampen the mood, yeah.
Yeah. yeah. And so, okay, yeah, it's dark. They can't see. Chuck some flares out so that we can see what's coming. But for Maggie's monologue, she was holding a flare the whole time. No sound whatsoever. And it was a bit of a waste of a flare because they weren't doing anything. She was just standing there.
I thought they were going to use them to like heat up the door frames and so that they would be more pliable in order to rip them open. I was wrong.
I thought they were using them as distractions to be
Yeah.
setting up a distraction.
At first.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, that wouldn't work.
You missed that opportunity.
You're a hungry walker. Do you want a tasty human or a light up flare?
Yeah.
No thanks.
Moths. All right. So, yeah, Commonwealth, Eugene, he goes
Blah,
this big
blah, blah.
sob story. Yeah, he's a good liar, and we know that about Eugene. So, Orange Pumpkinhead thinks, yeah, he thinks he knows what's going on. He's like, oh, you're a terrible liar. And you can kind of see something click with Eugene where he goes, oh, he thinks I'm lying. I can make advantage of this because I know I'm a good liar. So, yeah, all of this stuff, it'll just be interesting to see where it goes. What's been going on this whole time was all of this kind of a ploy or a test, how much of the other characters said. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys really quick? Did you think that Eugene's persona, his like, he was nervous the entire time, jittery, knee jumping up and down. Was that all an act to give off the idea that he was nervous, or was he actually? Because I was thinking to myself, we really moved past this cowardly Eugene,
Yeah.
and I really don't want to see him again.
Yeah.
So yeah, was that all an act?
Good question. And it really reminded me of the one. Do you remember when Maggie and Carol get captured and right at the start of the Savior's arc, and Carol is like crying the whole episode and putting on this fake sort of persona.
Before she opens fire on a whole bunch of saviors?
It's around that. It's not that exact scene, but yeah, it's a similar kind of situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
She burns them, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a similar sort of thing where there's probably a bit of the character actually panicking in there as well, but then they're just taking advantage of it and then playing into it to an extent. Yeah, I don't know, but it's definitely the sort of thing where it's like, oh, okay, there better be something else going on here because this isn't Eugene. Like we know that. And so when he started then telling the story and making up stuff that we know isn't true, that's like, oh, okay.
My boy. Good job.
My boy. Yeah, and we see Stephanie come in right at the end. It's like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, they've got, well, we'll see more of the Commonwealth. Maybe everyone's like perfect and stuff like that, but she's just like this perfect person, all her hair and makeup and everything. It's like, I don't know, the neighbor from next door, and when they take off their glasses, although she had glasses, like, oh,
windswept
so
hair, and
yeah, yeah.
Contrast that with the worst that Eugene has ever looked in his life.
Yeah.
I'm Eugene.
But both when he was talking about Stephanie in the interrogation and when she comes out, there's a very subtle Eugene Stephanie music theme. Which then when he actually sees her and she comes out in person, then it sort of changes and expands a little bit. So yeah, that's cool. Because when he was talking about her, it was pretty much exactly the same as what we've heard before when they were talking on the radio. And then it changes a bit when they actually meet in person. So.
Predictions for, is he getting friend zoned straight away?
Ooh.
Nah. I'm holding
really
out
hope
hope
not.
for Eugene.
I hope not.
Because that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
It could be she's like, oh, you're new here. We don't really know each other. You have to see how you go in this community first. Maybe that'll be the... Yeah.
But just don't go too much with that kind of like rom-com sitcom stuff for the last season.
Yeah,
A
good
tiny
point.
bit, sure, but like, yeah, not too much.
It'd be nice to see him happy for a change.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
My boys
He
earned it.
just needs a bit of a shower and a haircut, but we'll get there.
Chop off the rat tail.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so we're all out of the sewers. Quite an impressive. It might have been CG or a set, but there was sort of that wide shot of all the vines and stuff where they climbed out of another sewer, the subway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very, very much Last of Us vibes. I'm playing through Last of Us 2 again at the moment, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff with all the vines. It looks really cool. However they did it, if it was a set, really cool set. If it was CGI, great CGI, because I couldn't tell if it was real or not. So awesome there. And we come across a very grim sight of all these bodies hanging along the side of the road. Pretty much episode ends there with everyone being shot at and hiding as the Reapers approach, which we know it's them because the music, which is I like it. But they didn't. It was the third one.
Yeah.
The sound, which I can't do. You can do the digga.
Yeah. I need to go back and listen to that. I can't pull it up in my head. Or maybe you could.
I'm connected to the Bluetooth from last week, I think. Let's see.
You need to go to the center line almost with that.
Okay.
Boom, 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 boom.
No, so the higher pitch sound on top of that is what I'm paying attention to.
Oh.
But maybe that's the thing as well. So.
I thought that was just the intense music that they put with most things. The rise with
Nah, that's very unique to the Reapers.
There you go.
I did not pick up
I'm
on
pretty
that.
sure at least.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the other the underlining bums.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Ominous.
I mean, obviously they've got other similar rises in there, but that specific kind of I don't know, metallic sound, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, there we go. We're set for some interesting stuff next week. What you were saying before, though, you're like, oh, good to see them out of the underground, up in the daytime. Oh well, it doesn't look too happy upstairs.
Out of the
either.
frying pan into the fire.
Yeah. But yeah, are you excited to see some more of these guys?
100%. I think there's
Okay.
more to them than meets the eye. We've got the idea from the one guy that blew up already, yuck. And then the stories of Maggie, they burnt our village or something like that.
Yeah.
So we've only got a really one-sided approach of who they are.
Yeah.
But people could have said that about Rick's group,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something I like about Angela Kang in general is sometimes she says stuff that like could be considered a spoiler if you're like super, into don't give away anything. Like before the season 10 finale came out and we were wondering who the guy in the mask with the knives was. She just casually said in like an interview on Talking Dead or whatever, oh yeah, and you can see that Maggie's got this guy with her with the 2 knives. It's like, oh, we didn't know that, but yeah, sure. Yeah. But it's one of those things that doesn't really matter. It's like, oh well, because if you look at like Star Wars interviews back in the day, like they'll just give away anything. Like no one really cared about spoilers. So I kind of like being a bit more casual with it. And she's talked a little bit about the Reapers, not in much detail, but she said that they're like people who were sort of unhinged even before the apocalypse. So there's, definitely some interesting potential stuff there, like if they're escaped prisoners or from an insane asylum or something like that. Now they've started a gang. I don't know. There's some potential there.
I have been jonesing to see a buzzsaw weapon thing, like since this thing started. And I don't know if we have seen that yet. I don't think. But yeah, the guy center leading the charge of the Reapers.
Yeah.
It's very clearly got something on a pole, on a stick like that. And it's just every zombie apocalypse needs a wire-wrapped something, bat probably. And and a disc blade thingy.
Okay.
Circular saw blade attached to a thing.
We'll have to see.
Zombie Apocalypse 101.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, got a lot to look forward to. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there unless anyone has any final thoughts on the episode.
People with their thoughts can continue with us.
They can send an email if they'd like to be a part of the conversation to turnsounds@gmail.com, or if you'd like to be even more in the club and hear us continue to talk for another 10 minutes or so, then you can plug in at turnsounds.com. And what that does is it supports us financially, buy us a cup of coffee or whatever. That's stealing Squawking Dead's little tagline there. But, it's that kind of thing where a couple of bucks goes a long way because there's a few expenses that go into podcasting and publishing all this stuff. So yeah, we definitely appreciate the support, and we'd also love to connect with you even further. It allows you the opportunity to have some more input into the show, what you like to let us know, what you like to hear, what you'd like to hear less of, and if you'd like to join the conversation, definitely do that.
And just on a personal note, it's so encouraging for us knowing that people are listening. Anytime people reach out with a little wavy hand emoji and say, you guys suck, stop the show. Yeah. We know people are listening. So it's nice for us.
Speaking of which, I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to just check on Instagram to make sure I say the name right.
And you'll get a kiss from Liam, by the way. That's big one.
You will.
Yeah.
Okay. Karen. She. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm sorry. SHIH.
She.
Yeah. Cool name.
Cool.
But yeah, like she commented on our latest post or the one when we were reviewing the trailer, and it starts off great content as usual. And it's like, oh yeah, here's another, spam Instagram account just saying like, oh, great content. But then she goes on and talks about exactly what we're talking about in the episode, and she was expanding on the improv scene of Negan and Lucille. She reckons it's when they were trying on the wigs. We were talking about there was a scene that they were sort of just got carried away and having fun with. So
wasn't that in our plugged in thing? Or no?
No, I think that was part of it. I'm not sure, actually.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening, Karen. And, definitely comments like that, knowing that people are actually listening and enjoying the content, it's very encouraging. And, definitely means a lot. So, thank you so much. And for anyone who'd like to continue the conversation with us now, head over to turnsounds.com, plug in, and we're going to keep it going there. We'll catch you later next week otherwise.
See ya.
Adios.